What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Best Pals podcast. So recently I found a tournament bracket that is Millennial Kids Best TV Shows. So I figured we'd run through that and decide what is the best Millennial Kids show. Today we're going to start with Nickelodeon. Now, I am Ben Richey, I am your host. I'm here with WAP Slayer himself, Jake.
Whoa.
And the coolest girl on the world planet, Kate.
Hi.
And today we are starting with, like I said, we're starting with Nickelodeon. So we'll run through a couple of Nickelodeon shows, comparing them, deciding which show's better. I did not make this tournament. I did not decide these brackets. So obviously it could all end up differently depending on where these shows would have fallen on these brackets if laid out differently, if that makes any sense.
It does.
So the first matchup is Jake is SpongeBob SquarePants versus Chalk Zone. Have you ever seen Chalk Zone?
I've seen both of them. I've seen more SpongeBob than I've seen Chalk Zone. Chalk Zone seemed really cool, but if I'm going to pick one or the other, it's probably going to be SpongeBob. I think SpongeBob had a lot more comedy in it. It was more slapsticky. Chalk Zone was weird. I would compare it to, like, Chowder from the Cartoon Network.
I've never seen Chowder, but see, I would have to vote for SpongeBob, though I did really enjoy Chalk Zone. I thought it was really interesting. I liked the art style because it was like that chalk crayon drawn style.
Yeah.
And they do the circle on the chalkboard and then they get to Chalk World, and it was a really cool idea, but SpongeBob had a much longer run, better episodes, I guess.
Yeah, it's been on for what, over 10 years now?
What did we
least.
look at? It was like 17 seasons.
No, there's like 20-something
22
seasons of it.
seasons?
Yeah.
It's like the Nickelodeon Simpsons.
Right.
Right. So, Kate, what
Well, definitely SpongeBob, because you know how I feel about SpongeBob.
Yeah, you love your SpongeBob. So, alright, so Chalk Zone is eliminated and SpongeBob goes on to the next round. So next we're gonna go, Kate, we're going with Rugrats versus Rocket Power.
Ooh.
That's a really tough one because I love both of them, but I feel like I'd have to pick Rugrats just because I've been watching it so much longer than Rocket Power. I did have a Rocket Power skateboard, but...
Was it rocket powered?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right.
I was so rocket powered on
The
it.
trucks, the bearings probably didn't even roll.
It was a
in
really
those
bad
wheels.
skateboard.
I can
But
imagine.
yeah, I have to go with Rugrats.
Alright, Jake.
Ooh. I think I have to do the same, because I watched Nickelodeon when it only had, like, 3 shows.
3, like, original shows?
Yeah, like, and Rugrats was the one of them. You know, it had, like, Rugrats and...
Hey Dude.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Well, no, it was before that. Like, they literally had, like, it was Rugrats, and it was, like, All That, and it was, like, one other show, and I don't remember what it was. But, like, it was at the beginning of Nickelodeon.
Right. Yeah, Hey Dude was back then, I think, because that was the cowboy kids on a ranch show. I don't know if you even remember.
I remember that.
I feel
Or,
like
or
Hey
what?
Dude.
Hey, Salute Your Shorts.
Salute Your Shorts, that was probably one of those around then.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a clean sweep for Rugrats then, because I'm also voting for Rugrats because while I did enjoy both, I love Rugrats. And you can't beat Search for Reptar on the PlayStation 1. That game was awesome. I know Rocket Power had a lot of games, but I don't remember any of them being very good. So Rugrats goes on to the next round. Alright, Jake. Now we're going with a kind of a weird twofer, because I don't know if any of us have watched much of one of these shows. It's The Amanda Show versus iCarly.
Okay, it's The Amanda Show. No, there is no comparison. It's The Amanda Show. Amanda, please.
Right.
Weren't we just... You were over like a week ago, and for some reason I just randomly brought up the I like eggs.
I like eggs.
And I don't
There's
know why.
so many good parts from that show.
Right. I
Like,
don't remember why
like,
that came up in conversation.
It was like our generation's SNL.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I would say all that, but...
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right. All
It's
that
from-
was.
yeah.
The Amanda Show was like Mad TV.
Yeah, it was like a knockoff brand. I, too, am voting for the Amanda Show because I have never watched iCarly because I was probably 19 when iCarly came out.
like,
Right.
I never watched any of iCarly. I think it was a spinoff of... Was it Drake and Josh?
Well, that's like their little sister in the show, but
Yeah.
I can't remember if that's how it is in iCarly.
No, I think
it's just the same girl, but
yeah, I think it's the same actress,
Yeah.
but she got her own show because of because in Drake and Josh she was
Miranda
Megan.
Cosgrove.
Yeah, Miranda Cosgrove.
Mhm.
She was Megan, so
Yeah.
So
I knew her from that. So
yeah.
I would watch that.
But I think they just gave her own show because of everybody loved her, and she was
Right.
also in School of Rock.
Oh yeah.
She was the girl in School of Rock.
I forgot about that.
All right, Kate, so I'm assuming you're also voting
Obviously,
for the Amanda
the
Show?
Amanda Show.
Yeah, that one was an easy one. Like I said, I would have been surprised if any of us had even really seen much of iCarly.
I love iCarly. Hello.
All right, Jake. The next round, the next versus, we got Doug versus the Wild Thornberrys.
Okay, it's Doug. I mean, I love Doug. I grew up on Doug. Was like, I think Doug was one of those that was like that third other show for Nickelodeon.
I wouldn't.
Definitely an OG.
Yeah, I would
Been
not
on
be
for a
surprised
long
if that was
time.
one of the earliest ones. I
Yeah.
too am going with Doug. I like the Wild Thornberrys. I actually really like the Wild Thornberrys,
Nigel
but
Thornberry.
Nigel Thornberry. but
Thornberry.
But I haven't watched Wild Thornberrys in forever, and honestly, I haven't really watched Doug in forever. But it stands out in my memory so much more.
Well, yeah, you were that little boy in the shorts.
What?
You're that little boy
You
in the
are
shorts
that.
growing up. You know, the one they find out in the wild, and he's like,
Oh, and the Wild Thornberries. I thought you were talking
I was
about
thinking
that.
Doug. I was
Yeah.
like, who's the little boy in shorts?
no, the Wild Thornberrys. You're that little boy in the shorts.
I could see that.
And you grew up.
I grew up and now I'm. This is.
This is your life. This is what happened.
Yikes. All right, Kate, Wild Thornberrys or
I mean,
Doug?
It's gonna have to be Doug, even though I really like both. But
That's what I was. Both are great, but Doug is like the OG.
Yeah, like
Can't
Wild
beat Doug.
Thornberrys was like wave 2 of Nickelodeon.
Right.
Still a good show.
It's
but
still a
not
great
as-
show.
Not as good as Doug. All right, Kate. Jimmy Neutron
Ooh.
versus All That.
I mean, I feel like those are two completely different types of shows.
They are very.
They're very
and I
different.
really liked both of them. But
But
all
which
that.
did you like?
All
Okay.
that, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, you're going with All That.
It's all that. This is all
I loved the opening,
that.
like the theme. It was so good.
It's like it brings back so like they did that reunion with Keenan and Kel a few years
Yeah.
back when he comes in and Kel's doing what's his name from Good Burger.
Oh yeah.
And then Keenan he's like, listen here, Cranberry, and he
Did they? Okay, because I didn't see that. Did he end up in the tub doing French?
no he did not
Uh,
no he didn't do him.
That would have been good.
Like,
So far it's all been clean sweeps because I too am going with All That. I remember watching Jimmy Neutron, and I don't remember liking it. Like I remember watching it because it was
Really?
there. It was
I
one of those
liked it.
shows where it was there, so I watched it.
I thought it was
I
pretty
li-
good.
I-
I didn't love it, but it was pretty good.
I watched it for Sheen. He was the best character
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
entire
the
show and ended up
weird
getting his
best friend.
own show later on.
Oh, really?
Planet.
I
It
didn't
was called
realize
Planet
that.
Sheen.
Okay.
And he was like swept away to a different planet, and then like everybody, it was just still they were all aliens, and there was still a
Weird.
Carl Weezer, but he was like a half
Okay.
slug guy, and
That's
it was
so
just
weird.
it was really weird, but it was funny because he was still
yeah, I
all
didn't even know
about
that existed.
he was still all about that superhero that he likes, Ultraman, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I watched it because it was there, and being a kid, you watch what's there half
Right.
the time.
Yeah.
So I never got into it, and I would not watch it again as an adult. All right, Kate. So next up, we got two very different shows again. We got Drake and Josh versus Cat Dog.
Oh God.
Once again, two completely different shows. But I feel like I'm a sucker for Cat Dog. I really like Cat Dog.
Cat Dog's good.
Yeah.
I used to get. You remember those little cheese nips you could get in the shape
Oh.
of cat dog? Yeah. So I
remember
really
that.
like cat
And then there was a
dog.
line going down the middle, so you
Yeah.
could break them in half, and you're like,
I
know.
feel like that's honestly part of the reason why I'm choosing cat dog.
For them cheese nips.
Those cheese noobs.
What about you, Jake?
I'm also gonna have to go with Cat Dog. I never really watched Drake and Josh. I know it's a great show.
Yeah.
I know it's really funny. It's got a lot of, slapstick in it, which I do enjoy. But I never really. I think I was a little too old for Drake and Josh when it came out.
That's
honestly.
what I was gonna say. Is I'm also voting Cat
I
Dog.
don't remember when it came out.
I don't remember when it came out either, but I don't remember watching it because I feel like
did.
I was.
Was I too old to be watching it?
I think.
Probably.
I think
That's
I was.
fine.
I mean, I was too old to be watching Blue's Clues, but I was still
Yeah.
watching Blue's Clues. Like I'm sitting there, like, go left, and it's like they're not going left.
Yeah, I definitely remember Cat Dog, and I do not remember watching Drake and Josh. So my guess is that it was past my time.
Yeah, it was past all our times, I think.
All right, Jake, we're getting down to the final two matches in this first round.
It's first
This
bracket.
this one's gonna be a little tricky. We got Fairly Odd Parents
Okay.
versus Danny Phantom.
Oh, Danny Phantom. That's not tricky at all.
No, really.
Yeah, I like Fairly Odd Parents, but Danny Phantom is so in my wheelhouse. It's not even like he's a superhero and he's a ghost. And the only bad part about the series is it never got a proper ending because the guy who made Danny Phantom and Fairly Odd Parents, it's the same guy, but he ended up leaving Nickelodeon. I forget why. I think Nickelodeon and him had a really bad falling out.
Did he do what's the show with the alien that comes to the planet tries to
Oh,
take
Alien Invader Zim?
Did he do Invader
I don't
Zim?
think he did
No?
Invader Zim.
Okay. So I'm gonna mix it up then because I'm going Fairly Odd Parents because I never watched Danny Phantom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It could be really cool. I've never seen it. The only thing I know about Danny Phantom is that one dude that shot up the supermarket and killed people because he was in love with a ghost from Danny Phantom.
Oh, Ember! Oh,
Yes,
God.
Ember's Ghost Squad. Did you ever hear that story?
No.
Oh, yeah. That one's really dark.
Dude was obsessed with the cartoon, so he shot up the supermarket because he wanted to die and be one with the ghost from Danny Phantom.
Yeah, the Ember, her name's Ember, she's like a musician in the show, but she's a ghost, and she has like blue fire hair, and
And you just thought that was real.
yeah,
That
like
was gonna find her.
he had a really bad like connection with reality and fiction, and he couldn't differentiate the two.
Well, as spooky as that sounds, I never really watched Danny Phantom, so I'm also gonna pick Fairly Odd Parents.
Damn.
My
Yeah,
shiny
so-
teeth, I am-
What?
What? You remember that episode?
What was it? I
The
didn't.
one with what's his name, like Chip Skylark.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
talk about, like-
And they're singing about his teeth?
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay.
unfortunately for you, Jake, Danny Phantom is eliminated. That was the first time we've actually disagreed on
Yeah, it
anything so
was.
far. All right, so the last match, Kate, for the first round is Hey Arnold
Ooh.
versus Zoey 101.
Oh.
Well, I've watched both, but like we were talking about earlier, Hey Arnold, because I always wanted to have his bedroom. I thought it was so cool.
Dude, he had like the
best
utility
thing
bedroom,
ever.
yeah.
And even if it wasn't that, like just everything else about it, I loved that show. So
I too am going with Hey Arnold because I've never seen Zoey 101. Isn't that
that makes me
Britney
feel
Spears'
better that you
sister?
Didn't
Yeah.
watch that show. Yeah.
Is that
You're
his?
kinda weird.
Is that who is in that show? Britney
Yeah, I
Spears'
think
Yeah.
it is her
Jamie
sister.
Lynn.
Jamie
and she
Lynn
got like
Spears.
knocked up, and that's why she couldn't be on the show anymore or something.
Is that Zoey 101? I don't know. I'm getting confused.
I don't know.
There's too many like young female stars and all
That
of
go
these that I get
crazy like Amanda
confused.
Bynes did.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I've never seen it, so I have to go with Hey Arnold. But I love it regardless. I still have my Hey Arnold Christmas ornaments hanging on the wall.
you do.
Might as well just keep them up
So,
now.
Jake?
until
Yeah,
Christmas.
Hey Arnold. I mean, it's Hey Arnold.
I know.
It's such a good show. They actually made a Hey Arnold movie to completely wrap up the whole series
Yeah.
just a few years
It
ago.
was called like the Jungle Hunt or something. I haven't seen it.
But I didn't watch it, but I know it basically like introduces Arnold's parents.
Yeah, he goes on a hunt for his parents, from what I've heard.
So like I've seen most of the show. I haven't seen the movie, but I know like that Hey Arnold was not scared to do like real world problems.
Oh,
It like a lot of those older cartoon shows weren't afraid to like like they would talk about bullying and racism and all that
Poverty,
stuff, and poverty, and there was one episode where in Hey Arnold, Mr. Chen, I think is his name. He's like the Asian guy
where he gets his daughter.
He gets his daughter back, and he talks about how he had to flee his country because it was ravaged by war and famine.
They got into some serious shit on Hey Arnold.
Yeah, it was such a good show.
They sure did. So that is the end of round one. So to wrap things up, round one, SpongeBob SquarePants won. The Amanda Show, All That, Fairly Odd Parents, Hey Arnold, Cat Dog, Doug, and Rugrats. So that's where we're at now. So Jake, All That versus Fairly Odd Parents for the beginning of round two.
I'm gonna go with All That. It's OG. It's got a lot of really good people in it. You know, it had Amanda Bynes in it. It has Keenan and Kel. It's got I can't think of her name. She was the bigger girl.
Oh, I don't remember her name either, but she did the news reporting.
Yeah, her, and then it had the guys from Pete and Pete.
Mm-hmm.
The one guy from Pete and Pete, you know, and there was just so much iconic stuff from that I could still see today and be like, oh, I'm 5-6 years old again watching this at home.
Kate?
Definitely All That. I used to get super excited listening to that song. Like I said, I loved it when I would hear it come on.
I was going to say Fairly Odd Parents. I love Fairly Odd Parents, but All That I can concede, and I will allow it because All That was great. I will allow it.
I will.
All right, so All That takes out Fairly Odd Parents, moves on to the semifinals. I think that's the semifinals. All right, Kate, Doug versus Rugrats.
Rugrats. I feel like I just remember so many more Rugrats episodes, like that watermelon one.
Oh, where he goes in the belly to get the seeds out.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know.
So you're going Rugrats.
Yeah, I'm going
all right.
Rugrats.
I'm going to have to go Doug. Mostly for the fact that when I was a kid, I found Rugrats to be boring.
Really?
I did, personally. Like, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, it's Rugrats. But then Doug would come on, and he'd be like, oh, Whaleman! You know, and then he would also have the spy version of himself, and they'd just do stupid stuff and had go on, like, not necessarily adventures, but there was also a dog, and I like Pork Chop.
There was a dog.
Yeah.
There was
Spunky? No, that's Rocko's Modern Life.
I can't remember.
I was just literally about to say it, and then I lost.
Yeah. Shit. So I have to decide between Doug and Rugrats. That's hard because I really like both of them.
Because I'm banging on a trash can. Drumming on a street light.
I guess.
Drumming on my banjo.
If I'm going by what I have watched some of recently, it would have to be Rugrats. I love Doug. Doug was like my favorite show growing up, but Rugrats was a close second. And I still have Rugrats DVDs and Rugrats toys.
Yeah, you got a couple right behind you.
Oh, yeah. Season 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's a hard choice. Both are really good, but Rugrats has to beat out Doug just by an inch.
And Rugrats did have like 3 movies.
True.
Doug only had the 1.
And Doug eventually got bought out by Disney, didn't
Yeah, it did.
Ended up on the Disney Channel.
I think Disney just buys everything.
Yeah.
I'd also like to point out, while we got a second here, why no Are You Afraid of the Dark on this tournament?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Like, Are You Afraid of the Dark freaking is like probably, I would say, their best live action show.
Yeah, I love that.
I would have picked it over pretty much everything on here. So,
all right, with that said, Kate, SpongeBob SquarePants versus The Amanda Show.
That's so hard.
Yeah, that's a toughie.
Because I love The Amanda Show. But also, I feel like I was obsessed with SpongeBob, and you saw me laughing at those stupid episodes that nobody else probably thinks are...
Miho,
I don't even know how to say it. Mihonya.
Mihoy,
the Doodle Bob. Yeah,
Mihoy,
yeah. And then the ravioli,
give me the formula. Yeah.
And I had like SpongeBob sheets and pillowcases, but
and socks.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to pick SpongeBob, even though it's tough.
All right, so I'm also gonna pick SpongeBob. I didn't really watch a whole lot of SpongeBob growing up. I remember some of the better episodes, or the episodes I liked, like the one where he gets stranded on the bus and ends up in like the scary section.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
And go to the...
With the balloon and all that. But I remember a lot more SpongeBob than I do Amanda Show, other than the I like eggs and meh. So I too am voting for SpongeBob.
Yeah, I guess SpongeBob too. I remember it's been literally years since I've seen the Amanda Show. Like probably closer to a couple of decades.
I mean, we
now.
did just watch a clip like a week ago.
But barring that,
Right.
I haven't seen a
Haven't
thing
actually
from
watched
Amanda
it.
Show since it was actually on Nickelodeon,
Right.
the main channel. And since, Amanda Bynes is all like, I want Drake to murder my vagina, she tweeted that out to Drake. Like, this was back when she was, like,
Wasn't
super
there like
crazy,
a
and
false
she had...
thing of her being pregnant recently? Wasn't she not actually pregnant?
I don't know. I know she got those dimple piercings.
Yeah, and she has like a little heart tattoo on her face also.
Yeah, and then it came out that she's literally actually
Well, I mean,
she was, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think she ended up going to a hospital and getting help, and then coming out and being okay.
Yeah.
But I know that she was actually crazy. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Just
right.
get help.
She got help. So
She got
that's
help,
good.
so
Yeah.
she's good.
Kate, here's a toughie. Hey Arnold versus Cat Dog.
Hey Arnold, definitely.
Yeah, I guess that's not as
That's
Yeah.
not-
I mean, it's like I used to watch both of them constantly, but Hey Arnold, I was just watching it again like within the last couple months at home, getting ready to go to bed, watching it. So,
Jake.
Yeah, it's Hey Arnold. Like, I liked Cat Dog, but Hey Arnold's just so much better. Cat Dog was silly and just weird, and that's great, but I felt like Hey Arnold was, like, way more relatable.
Yeah, Cat Dog's fine and dandy and enjoyable and funny, but Hey Arnold's still one of the best cartoons I think ever made.
And
It's right up there.
I agree with Kate. His room is badass. Like, he has that couch that just flips out of the wall,
I know.
and his roof is
like a skylight.
It's a skylight.
You mean he's got a great room, but let's not sleep on Stoop Kid Stoop.
Yeah. Or do you remember the episode where he learns karate?
Yeah,
and he just
beats
goes
a
around
bunch
and
of
beats the
people.
crap out of everybody,
Yeah.
and their clothes just fall off, and he has to learn that he can't just go around karate
Yeah.
chopping
Also,
everybody.
I just really like his grandpa. He's
Grandpa.
Hey, short man.
Yeah.
All right, so that means we are down to the semifinals. We've only got 3 more matches to go before we decide what's the best Nickelodeon millennial show is. So Jake, SpongeBob SquarePants versus all that.
That's really hard. They're both so good.
But also so different.
Yeah.
That's true.
I am gonna have to go with all that.
Interesting.
Only because, I mean, it didn't run as long as SpongeBob, but you don't see a lot of live action stuff anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, like, at least not of that caliber. Disney and all them, they're all doing all that, like, live action stuff, and
Right.
and that's, but it's not like, it's not an improv show, like, kind of like how all that was.
Right.
You know, they had the Good Burger thing, they had the Frenchman in the tub, and,
Right.
you know...
Yeah, there was some...
It did make me want to drink orange soda, and I don't
Yeah.
like orange soda, so...
I mean...
All
There
right,
is
so
that.
That's a vote for all that, Kate. All that or SpongeBob.
No, it's still gonna be SpongeBob for me.
So I gotta decide again.
Yeah,
You
you
are,
are be the
yep.
tiebreaker.
You're the tiebreaker.
So I love all that, but I have to go SpongeBob for the simple fact that it's.
He's in pain over this one.
I kind of am
hurts.
too. This is like the second time that I made a really hard decision.
Really bad decision. This is the second time I made a really bad
You mean when you
decision.
side with me, it's the bad decision?
Well, no.
He's like, I regret it immediately, and you're my girlfriend, so I have to.
all that is great. I could probably watch it right now and enjoy it, but SpongeBob has been going for so long. There's so many episodes. There's so many great moments and memes, and it's like kind of transcended being a Nickelodeon cartoon as being like a pop culture icon now.
Yeah,
so it's
right.
kind of like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to go to the finals. And Jake, here's one that I do not want to have to decide
Okay.
because it's going to be very difficult.
Uh-huh.
Hey Arnold versus Rugrats.
Hey Arnold.
That's
Nice.
fast.
It is that easy. I loved Hey Arnold. And like I said before, Rugrats I always felt was... It didn't entertain me. It didn't keep my attention. It was really like when I was a kid. When I got older, I liked it. Like not when I was like 4, 5, 6 years old, I didn't like it. When I got to be around like 8, 9, 10 years old, I could watch it. I remember getting that orange VHS tape of the movie.
Oh yeah, I have that.
For for Easter one year in my Easter basket, and I watched the crap out of it, and I love that movie. But Hey Arnold it holds a special place in my heart.
And I'm gonna make Kate decide. Well,
I mean, I already have my mind made up.
what are you voting on?
Hey Arnold.
Okay, I was gonna also vote on Hey Arnold.
Okay, so there we go.
So it was a clean sweep. All right. I don't want to piss anybody off that's watching this because I love Rugrats. I have the 4 seasons here. I have figures. But Hey Arnold's so good. And it still stands up so well that I could easily watch it and enjoy it to this day. While Rugrats, I could watch it and enjoy it, but
It's not the same.
it's not the same. It's not...
You don't get to see Helga Pataki have her creepy bubblegum
Right.
shrine to Arnold
That's true.
in her closet.
Before we dismiss Rugrats, I do want to say the Halloween episode where they have the haunted house in their backyard and
Well, you know I like any Halloween episode of anything.
and they
Yeah.
they have like the grapes with the skin taken off them as the eyeballs. I love that episode.
It's a good one.
That's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, anything Halloween is great.
So unfortunately, Rugrats is eliminated, and we are down to our finals. To get here, the first round, we had SpongeBob versus Chalk Zone, Amanda Show versus iCarly, Jimmy Neutron versus All That, Fairly Odd Parents versus Danny Phantom, Hey Arnold versus Zoey 101, Drake and Josh versus Cat Dog, Doug versus the Wild Thornberrys, and the Rugrats versus the Rocket Power. I don't know if there's a "the" before Rocket Power.
No,
It's
it's
just
just
Rocket
Rocket
Power.
Power.
It's like referring to YouTube
The
as the
Rocket
YouTube.
The
Power.
YouTube. This will be on the YouTube. But and now we are down to the finals. Jake, it's SpongeBob SquarePants versus Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold.
Yeah?
I like SpongeBob, but Hey Arnold is just... I love Hey Arnold so much. So much. It is so good. And I love SpongeBob too. SpongeBob has a lot of really good... Like you said, it has so many memes. It has, an infinite amount of characters it can use.
Right.
Everybody from SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward to King Neptune, and it's had multiple movies as well, I believe.
Up till recently, they just recently released a movie.
But Hey Arnold is just... It's so good.
Kate, SpongeBob or Hey Arnold?
I think...
So, I feel like I've picked SpongeBob over everything so far. But when it comes down to it, I feel like I have to pick Hey Arnold.
Oh, what an
I don't
upset!
know. I just feel like I get more excited when I hear it starting and coming on, and I don't know.
Hey Arnold!
Yeah.
So,
Move it, football head!
Also, I have a grandpa named Arnold, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you're
I
kind of
guess.
obligated.
Yeah.
You're kind of like contractually obligated.
Right.
so the finals, surprisingly enough, they're a clean sweep because I too am voting for Hey Arnold because I love Hey Arnold. SpongeBob's great, but I don't have any plans of going back and watching SpongeBob SquarePants. Hey Arnold, on the other hand, I have the entire series around here somewhere.
Yeah, you're not going to go back and watch 22 seasons of
Yeah,
SpongeBob.
I feel like there's more just specific episodes that I'm like, wow, I really love that one and I'd rewatch it. But
Like I would argue to say most of the episodes of SpongeBob I know are from the first 3 seasons.
That's probably the same for
to be
me.
fair, same, yeah.
Because that's probably more when I was that age watching it.
Right.
Because I aged out pretty quick when SpongeBob was around. So
You
I
aged out pretty quick. You got old as hell.
I got old as hell and stopped watching it. All right, so that wraps up the Nickelodeon portion of this tournament with our winner being Hey Arnold. So,
What?
according to us, Hey Arnold is the best Nickelodeon show that was on this bracket. And keep in mind, like I said earlier at the beginning, if these were laid out differently, it could have been a different outcome. Who knows?
And different shows too.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, if Are You Afraid of the Dark was on here,
That
more than
probably
likely
would've
that
won.
would have
Yeah.
won.
That would have come close, but as much as I love Are You Afraid of the Dark,
Yeah,
I
I
think
feel
I'd
like you
still go
probably
Hey Arnold.
Yeah, probably. It would have been a close second though. I feel.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Can you think of any other Nickelodeon shows that weren't on here that should have been?
Having a hard time thinking of what's what.
They had no.
I mean,
that
what
was
about
Cartoon
like
Network.
Real Monsters?
Avro Monsters was great. I'm
Yeah,
surprised
that
it
was
wasn't on there.
Nickelodeon, Ren and Stimpy,
Oh, yeah.
Global Guts,
Rocko's Modern Life,
Rocko's Modern Life. Yeah,
I did like all those shows. Like,
Gas,
Yeah.
Game
Nick
and
Gas.
Sports.
Was Legends of
whatever.
the Hidden Temple
Oh,
Nickelodeon?
Double Dare.
Double Dare. Yeah, I loved all those shows.
There was Pete and Pete, but I never cared
I
much
told
for
you
Pete
I had
and
that
Pete.
Nickelodeon alarm clock with the little slime
Oh,
light on the top.
Kablam.
Yeah.
Remember
Oh,
Kablam?
Kablam was really good.
Kablam was great.
Yeah,
it was
there's
so
a lot of
weird.
Other good ones that were not
I
here.
loved Kablam. So, granted, our pick for the best Nickelodeon show is Hey Arnold, but this could have been expanded and could have ended up differently. But that's our vote for the best Nickelodeon millennial show. Watch us next time for the Disney Channel, and we're gonna have about 5 episodes of this. We're gonna go through several different stations, and then at the end, it's gonna be a fatal 4-way to decide. Well,
Four-way.
a fatal 4-way of the best 4 shows, and then we'll decide the best millennial show of all time. So thank you for watching. I'm Ben Richey, here with Kate, and the WAP master, Jake. He slays the wet-ass pizza, that is.
Hell yeah.
And join us next time for Disney Channel.